planning on making a video about Christmas specials, but nowadays finding any cartoon is hard, so I thought I'd just make a year in review instead. Everything I watched in the year of 2024. And yeah, before we get into it, don't forget to subscribe. That's 651 right now, but you can make it 652 if you press that button. And yeah, let's get right into it. Gran Turismo. People don't talk about this movie enough. Amazing movie, by the way. I stayed up like so long to watch it. Based on a true story where Gran Turismo, a video game, is the most accurate racing simulator ever, and they had a tournament to choose of the game's best players to see if they could actually become real-life racers. And in the end, one of them did. The craziest part about this is that, like, it actually happened. I was like, what? Like, so many different parts of this movie are crazy. The pacing is great. The music is great. I highly recommend it. It's so good. So, from the top, the first movie I watched in 2024, on the 1st of January, was The Karate Kid Part 3. Yes, I did watch the other two, obviously, and I tried to watch Cobra Kai, but I couldn't finish it, for obvious reasons. The Breakfast Club. I watched this in high school when I was, like, alone, because I was the only one who showed up for a certain class on a day. I don't remember clearly, but I watched it in health class. Then Evangelion Death Up to True. I already made a video on this, so I'm just gonna like skip over it. The Social Network. Yeah, this movie's pretty good. That's all. Howl's Moving Castle. I watched this on TikTok Live. And I want my own moving castle. I want to drive it. Yep. How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. This is one of Netflix's best shows ever. And it's kind of underrated because it's like the type of Netflix show that has been on the site for so long that like you kind of disevaluate. Like it's kind of like how I still haven't watched Arcane or Cyberpunk Edgerunners, even though I did say I was going to do so this year. It's not too late. I have like 4 days left. It's Christmas when I'm recording this, by the way. Another based off of a true story where this German teenager is like, I'm gonna make a drug empire. It's so good. You need to watch it. I don't see people talk about it. It's definitely one of the best things that Netflix has put out ever, because they put out some questionable stuff, but they put out some pretty good stuff as well. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Barefoot Gen, Xavier Renegade Angel. I binged this with all my friends. We were just sitting, oh my gosh, bro. These sessions were undefeated. This session was undefeated. It was one session. We watched the entire thing all the way through. At the beginning, we were like, damn, this is funny. And then like 3-4 hours later, we were all just staring at the screen blankly. It was insane. Like we were enchanted. The worst part about watching Xavier Renegade Angel is that everything made sense to me. There's this one episode where, if you don't know, Xavier Renegade Angel is like this nonsensical like comedy series from Adult Swim, and it's got GOAT status. It's like the best thing they've put out. It's like one of the best things they've made. It's literally on YouTube. Like you can find it on here. And I love it. There's one episode where he splits into two versions of himself, one that's blue and one that's red. And I knew that like one of them was supposed to be like his like rational thinking side, and the other one was like his instincts, like the red one. And that's all I remember. I mean, I watched a lot of things. I don't really remember too much about that, but I like that series. Yeah. The Demented cartoon movie. I just watched this when I had no internet one day, and it was much longer than I thought it was going to be. I watched it on Flashpoint, that thing you can play Flash games on. V is for Vendetta. I love this movie, especially the credits, the end credits. 7 Years in Tibet. This movie is so good. I love this one. I was going to talk about arcs and how this movie connected to them. Like, this movie split into like about 7 arcs as well. Yeah. Old Boy. This is my second favorite movie of all time. Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. Total drama, the entire series. I love total drama. I already made a video about it. American Psycho, good card. Man of Steel. I tried to watch a bunch of DC movies at this time. You know that video about the MCU I made? I wanted to make one about the DCU. I couldn't bring myself to finish them. Metal Gear Solid 3, Snake Eater. This is probably one of the best things I've watched. Black Swan, Eyes Wide Shut, Batman v Superman, Wonder Woman, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I love this movie. This movie is so good. I talked to my friend Gigi about this, and she hates this movie, but I love it. The Lawnmower Man. Yeah, this movie is crazy. Definitely an experience. The lead actor is actually really good. Like, the guy didn't do a bad job. He was really good. Training Day. This is like, at the time, I was like, this is the best movie I've watched this day. It's really one of those movies that suck you in with like suspense and action. There's this thing that Quentin Tarantino proposes that like, there's this idea of watching an action movie like and seeing violence perpetuated in the movie and seeing it in a way that's like, you don't like it. Like it's glorified or something. But Training Day is a perfect example of that. I did not enjoy any of the violence in this movie. It just brought about suffering to the main cast. The Great Gatsby, this movie's aight. Total Drama Island Reboot Season 2. Megamind. Everybody will say that Megamind is good, but you have to actually watch Megamind to remember that like it's actually so good. Like I watched it again. Words cannot say. Just do it. Looper, this movie's about time travel. Definitely interesting. Dune, amazing. Glaze Denis Villeneuve, however you pronounce his name. This movie was so good I almost forgot Timothée Chalamet was in it. The Great Pretender. This was like a real cozy one to me, not gonna lie. This is on Netflix, obviously. It's an anime. And it's just about this guy. And the whole thing is that Makoto Edamame, whatever. He gets in league with all these con artists. And it's just like a weird ride. Like, it's definitely an interesting watch. It's not bad. It's just like, they obviously scandal their way through a lot of things. And they expose a couple people. And it's honestly pretty good. I like it. But I guess I just didn't like the ending. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a scene where someone gets shot in the head and they reveal that they're actually alive, and it's like, how do you even fake that? Like, those were real people who were holding you hostage. Those weren't people who were like in on your joke. If you were wearing a vest, then that would have made sense, but they shot you in the head. How did you live? Didn't even make any sense to me. I just wish they explained that trick. So there's Casablanca. I liked it. 500 Days of Summer. This is a goated one. Made me more open to romance movies. So then I watched Her. Now it's kind of like, this wasn't bad, but like it took kind of long. Like, as soon as that other character who was also talking to the robot, Her is basically about people who like date robots, like in the future. That's basically it. I guess people already do that. Joaquin Phoenix got real style in this one. Just look at this poster, bro. Like, he's just radiating it, bro. The aura. But in the actual movie, he's got negative aura. White Chicks. Yeah. The Darjeeling Limited. Cool movie. Wes Anderson. Shark Boy and Lava Girl, Gravity. This movie was scary. Chinatown, goated movie. Napoleon by Abel Gance. This movie, I heard about this movie through like a YouTube video that was like, the Napoleon that was released that was actually good. Because, that Napoleon movie came out around the time I watched this. And I was like, and I've heard people say like, it's not even historically accurate and it's not even good overall. Which honestly hurts because Joaquin Phoenix is Napoleon. That's such a good casting. And it's a silent film, obviously, but like, it is amazing. I had to go on some like shady website. No, it wasn't really that shady. It was actually much more well kept than most shady websites. It was more of a preservation website. The movie is 5 hours, but it is amazing. I watched it in like 2 sessions. The ending is amazing. Just the French flag, dude, blew my. Oh, I love that movie, bro. I need to remember that I saw that movie. I was like, that's one of the best movies I saw this year. Now, Lady Bird. I didn't like this movie, but Gigi actually liked it, so here we are disagreeing again. Paul Blart Mall Cop, Aquaman, Good Time, another Netflix thing. This has, what's his name? Guy from the Batman. Robert Pattinson. Speaking of Pattinson, I watched The Batman as well. Little Man, and Kindergarten Cop. I watched Lucy, Hellboy, Dune, the David Lynch version. Pretty wacky. I guess it just showed how much, like, this film couldn't be stretched into 2 hours. It had to be, like, at least 3. Because it just felt butchered overall. Beverly Hills Ninja, Nell, Pacific Rim, all 4 of the John Wick movies, or all 3 actually, I only watched 3. Absolute classics, bro. Those movies are great, bro. They really made 4 movies about the guy from Fortnite. Taps, Shazam, movie's good. The Nice Guys, movie was pretty good. Batman Begins. I still haven't watched the other movies in the trilogy. I need to. But yeah, this movie is amazing. I love it. It's a really good Batman origin story. Christian Bale's Batman suits it pretty well. The Croods, Beverly Hills Cop. Beverly Hills Cop is great, man. Fury, my second favorite war movie, I think. Yeah. Elysium, a weird one, sci-fi. The Raid Redemption, underrated series. You need to watch The Raid. Like, The Raid has good action sequences. I've heard people talk about it, but I watched this movie and it was like, wow, that was really good. The entire series, it's probably because like it's probably the only reason it's not as popular as it could be is because it's like not American, I guess. Even though its camera work is much better than most American movies too. They don't swap the camera perspective so much that you can't tell what's going on at all, which a lot of American movies too. Big Hero 6, finally saw it. Baymax is in Fortnite now. I need to stop talking about Fortnite in my videos. Baby Driver, Doctor No. This is when I tried to watch all the James Bond movies, but I couldn't watch them because I'm not watching all of those really. It kind of got boring. I'm sorry, Daniel Craig, but I'll never make it to you. Spaceballs, Elvis. This movie's good. People say that's bad, I think, but it's not bad. Zoom, Heroes of Tomorrow. Why did I even watch this? The Shining, goated movie. I need to do a Stanley Kubrick ranking video. Minority Report. This movie's really good. I watched this in class. Limitless. I also watched this in class and I hated it. I hate the guy who's the main character. I hate him. This actually made me hate this actor, by the way. The Matrix, I already glazed it in another video. Paths of Glory and Doctor Strangelove. I have a video about this one as well. Tank Girl. This movie is so interesting. It's like 1997, I think. It's like, what? Lori Petty is the Tank Girl, and then Ice-T's in it as like a dog monster thing. And then Malcolm McDowell the guy from Clockwork Orange is the main villain, and he's like sucking up all the water. Like that's like his evil scheme. Definitely an interesting watch. It's not good, but like you'll definitely be interested in what's happened. I watched it on like YouTube with ads. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I like this movie. It's really good. I like this movie. This movie was great. I watched this in class. Weird choice to put Elijah Wood in here. Went a little overboard with the CGI at some point, but other than that, it was like top tier. People talk about it all the time. The Lovely Bones. I also watched this in class. I hated this movie. Glory Road, cool basketball movie about systemic racism, or like the first black basketball team ever made. Yeah. Ordinary People. This is a key movie in my argument about like them 80s movies just hit different. You need to watch Ordinary. The ending hit different, bro. Like it was just raw. The Captain Underpants movie, goated. Story of Ricky. This was not a good movie. I watched it only to see this one scene where he rips someone's head off. At this point in the list, we're at about like the halfway point. We're about to get into June, but we're still in May right now. And then I watched Naruto. Yeah, like the whole thing. Now we're in June, and I watched The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. It was like a short that was on Netflix for a while. Also Wes Anderson. The Baki and Kengan Ashura collab. It was it was alright, I guess. Definitely cool to see. The Lego Movie, Back to the Future, Kicking and Screaming. I didn't like this movie. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This movie was okay. War Dogs. Exquisite movie. The Princess Bride, this is a pretty good one. Yeah, it's classic, obviously. The Peanut Butter Falcon has like an Academy Award. I was about to call it underrated, but it has an Academy Award. So The Day the Earth Stood Still. Zulu. This movie was sick. Yeah, this movie was good. I was really feeling the pressure when the Zulu were attacking. Obviously based off of the real life Zulu attacks. I mean, rightfully so, because the British were, being British and invading and, colonizing. There was this added scene at the end after the whole fight where the Zulus started singing and the British started singing their own traditional songs. And it was like they were congratulating each other on the battlefield. This didn't actually happen in the actual conflict, but it adds another layer to the movie, and I think it makes it all the more better. Shrek, Big Fat Liar. The feeling that I had when this movie ended and I saw it directed by Dan Schneider at the end. Empire of Dust. Very good documentary. Only documentary I watched like the entire year. Really good documentary. Like it's almost like, I know it's like to film things like that. It's almost uncanny how you were able to just get like all these angles. Like it's a documentary, but like it's so well structured. The camera work, like the framing is so well done. It's just like, it's like a bottle of lightning. It's like you caught lightning. It's really good. It's on YouTube as well. You can watch it. It's good. I was entranced by it one Sunday morning. Naruto Shippuden. I only write down things when I'm like done watching them, like even when they're shows, so I could be watching them throughout, but yeah. Just know I'm watching Gintama right now, but it's not here because I'm not marking it on the list because I haven't finished it. Avatar: The Last Airbender, The Lord of the Rings trilogy, The Truman Show, Daddy's Home, Bleach, 300, Hajime no Ippo, Monster, Perella Magi, Madoka Magica. Honestly, back in the day, this used to scare people, like, this used to, like, shock people. I don't know, it might have worn off its luster nowadays. I mean, in 2014, this was crazy, but it's almost been, like, 10 years. It is 10 years since that, and it's about to be 11 years this new year. I never ended up making a video about it because I just didn't really feel I had much to say about it, and I didn't think it was, that big of a thing. I wanted to say that the fact that Madoka, like, the whole wish thing, and the way she made her wish to stop any more witches from ever being created. And then the aliens give her like this godlike power that makes her stronger than the aliens themselves. It like implies like, I was just thinking about like, I'm just thinking about the logical thing. Why would the aliens, if they have that power, why would they keep it for themselves? And I guess you could say like, oh, they have to use the witches for that. I guess so, yeah, whatever. But like, they got a power that like turns a child into a literal god, like what? Castlevania. The first season was kind of like, man, like it was like the typical Netflix thing you'd see, but then like it started to get good, and I was like, what? I was not expecting it to get like good, I guess. Dumb and Dumber, Slam Dunk. You already know how I feel. I love Slam Dunk. I had to watch it in Spanish because there was no English translation. But honestly, having a headcanon of them being Latino is like, it just made the viewing experience better. The first Slam Dunk, the movie, goated as well. I honestly recommend both. And also, this is a series that actually made me read a manga for the first time ever. Like, I wanted to see it so badly. I love Slam Dunk. I want to make something sports related like this one day. Jujutsu Kaisen 0. This movie was better than the actual series. I've already talked about that though. The Prince of Egypt, Deliver Us. I love that song. Yeah, this movie's pretty good. Troy, goated movie, of course. Pluto, good, but I didn't feel as compelled by it as Urasawa's Naoki's other works. Jujutsu Kaisen. I already made a video about this. Saw X. Speaking of, this year I was trying to find Gumball's Christmas episode, the full thing, and I have Hulu, So I looked for it on Hulu, and it's just like not there. It's deleted. And like my pirated sites don't have it either. So I just watched it through clips on YouTube. Like things are definitely turning into lost media. Like there's gonna be a big surge of it, I feel, coming in the coming years. The way people talk about physical media now, it's like people were telling people back then to like invest in Bitcoin. Honestly, that physical media might be much more valuable in the coming years as well. Probably is. Nonetheless, preservation comes first. Over the Garden Wall. I had something planned for this. Like I watched it, but like didn't have much to say about it. All of the Evangelion movies, I made a video about this already. My Hero Academia 2 Heroes, the movie. I have a video about these as well. Not the movie though. Captain Phillips, goated movie. I Am the Capitan Now. Soul Eater, made a video about this. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, made a video about this. Transformers, Attack on Titan, made a video about that. Transformers, Revenge of the Fallen. Alright, so now I'm going to rank these from the best movies I watched, to the best shows I watched, and the best anime I watched. And it's going to be top 5, so, because like top 10 it's too merciful. Number 1, the best anime I watched was Avatar: The Last Airbender. You could debate on if it's an anime or not, but like I'm pretty sure it just is, bro. Like by definition, it's animation produced in Japan, but at this point it's more like a slang word. Like you just call it, it's more of a style at this point. So, Avatar. Number 2, Naruto Shippuden. It's just goated, bro. Like, come on now. I think it's impressive how like it has so many like plot holes and little things that like are just holes in the entire series, in the stain on the series that is Boruto, and yet it still like manages to touch the landing. Like, how does that even happen? And you know how Kishimoto's editor like might be responsible for the most of the success of Naruto, because like Kishimoto wanted to do some crazy things. Number 3, gonna have to go with Hajime no Ippo. This legitimately changed my life. Type of series that made you want to box, make you want to go do quote-unquote road work. Number 4, I gotta go with Bleach. Bleach is all I've been able to talk about for a long time after I watched it. I've finished it as of this recording. Jujutsu Kaisen, half of it was good and then half of it was bad. And also it had like pretty bad pacing, like the worst pacing I've seen in any anime. Like it was going crazy fast. But on the other hand, My Hero Academia, half of it was good. Like the first 3 seasons were good, and then it just kind of started falling off, and then like the final season was like somewhere in between those two, or what will be the final season because I read the manga. But actually I think it's pretty clear. It's neither of these, and it's Attack on Titan. Now let's move on to shows. Okay, I just realized I didn't watch that many shows excluding anime, so I mean there's only like 2 things on this list. Number 1, How to Sell Drugs Online Fast. Number 2, Total Drama Island. Oh yeah, and with shows, put Xavier Renegade Angel as 3rd. And now for the movies, we'll divide them into like, I mean, I guess this is like favorite and best, a little bit of both when it comes to this opinion. Actually, no, I'll try to be objective here. So, I think the best movie I saw this year was The Matrix. Number 1, The Matrix. Number 2, I also put like the entire Lord of the Rings trilogy, because like it was pretty much down to these 2 movies right here. Number 3 being Captain Phillips. This one thrilled me from beginning to end. Number 4, Napoleon by Abel Gance, goated movie. And honestly, this is my personal favorite, but I'm trying to be objective here. And for number 5, it's a big tie between Doctor Strangelove and Batman Begins. But it isn't like the final part of the trilogy, so I guess I'm just gonna go with Doctor Strangelove. I'm just gravitating more towards it. And yeah, that's it. I now have 665 subscribers. You can press the subscribe button if you want to support me. It's a free way to do it, and I'll be able to make a lot of videos this next year because of that. You know, it keeps me going. And yeah, happy 2025, and I'm hoping to put out some good ones this year. I'm hoping to make longer videos, as you can tell by this one. Well, 20 minutes is long to me. I've done the math, and like we're slated out to be at 1,000 subscribers by about March. So if you want to be a part of that, I recommend pressing that button. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thank you for watching, and this has been a Quad ZXY classic. I'm really trying to make that stick.